皆さん、こんにちは。アルファアドバイザーズの坂下です。アルファアドバイザーズでは、社会人の方からキャリアに関するご相談を毎日非常にたくさんいただいております。MBA 留学、海外大学院の留学、あとは転職、それから海外で就職したいという方も最近非常に増えています。でアルファではもうすでにアメリカとか、あとイギリスでも卒業してからイギリスの現地で働けるビザっていうのがつい昨年にできたので、イギリスでそのまま就職するとかっていう人もね、結構増えてきています。で今日はイギリスのトップの MBA ですね、ケンブリッジの MBA、アドミッションの方と卒業生の方が2名、来てくれています。で、昨日は、オックスフォードをやったんですけども、今日も同じイギリスにある、今日はフルタイムの MBA ですね。ということで、イギリスの MBA 興味ある方も非常に多いですし、ケンブリッジはですね、今日お話ししていても非常にサポーティブな雰囲気で、その卒業後のキャリアも今日ご紹介いただくんですけれども、トップティアの企業とかグローバル企業にも非常にたくさんね、卒業生の方入ってらっしゃるので、ぜひ皆さん、ケンブリッジの今日説明会、最後まで聞いていただければと思います。で卒業生の方も2名入ってくださってますので、割と最近ですね、2018年、19年に卒業した方が入ってくださってますので、結構最近のキャリア事情とかも含めて、あとは、まだですね、今年の入学も間に合うということで、今日来ていただいた2名の方もファイナルラウンドで受けて合格されたということで、まだ今年、もう留学してしまいたいという方は十分間に合いますし、アルファでも今年入学したいって言って準備している方もいますので、ご興味ある方は、できるだけ早めにいつでもご相談ください。でアドミッションの方にもご紹介とかもしてますし、今日ぜひね、中身も聞いていただいて、興味がある方はいつでもご相談いただければと思います。で、今日は、ケンブリッジ MBA のアドミッションのエミリーさんと、あと卒業生の方2名、それからアルファ代表のリスミさんが入ってくださってますので、皆さんでいろいろ進めていきたいと思います。ご質問とかコメントがあれば、YouTube の概要欄、失礼しました。コメント欄に入れていただければ拾って、後でお答えします。日本語で構いませんので、ぜひ入れていただければと思います。なかなか卒業生の方とかアドミッションの方に直接、ご質問できる機会も少ないと思いますので、ぜひぜひ皆さんご質問も入れていただければと思います。はい。ということで、ちょっと最初に、入住さんからもお話しいただいて、アドミッションの方の学校紹介に入っていこうと思います。よろしくお願いします。
はい、お願いします。本当に素晴らしい機会をいただきまして、今日はケンブリッジの MBA のアドミッションおよび卒業生の方々にお時間をいただくことができました。で、今の足元を見ると、これいつも我々の YouTube でも申し上げてるんですけれども、非常にですね、20代のみならず、30代、40代の方々が海外の MBA にもう行かねばならないということで、先ほどももう3組ぐらいですね、もう MBA の相談をしてたんですけれども、やはり30代、40代の方も20代の方もですね、やはりもうこれからもうグローバルシフトがですね、もう加速していると。でそれは単純になんか我々が言っているからとかっていうことではなくて、企業のそれぞれのですね、会社の現場現場でやはりそういうことは起きていて、で、当然その経営陣のそのグローバル化、それから外資資本の動きとかですね、全体的なリストラクチャリングの動きとか、今後10年間を見た上でのその日本の経済のそのダウントレンドみたいなところがかなりそのきつくなってきてるっていうのが皆さん肌身に感じられていて、単純に言うとどうこれからの10年をそのサバイブしていくのかっていうところが多分皆さん当然自分のことのようにですね、危機感と不安があって、で、したがって、じゃあそれの解決策って何なんだっていうとですね、自分自身をそれこそグローバル人材にしていくしかないと。で、グローバルマネジメントができる人材になるしかないということで、もうなんかもう待ったなしで、今まで自己投資をためらってきたけれども、これは行きたいんだということで、結構ご相談がですね、本当にさらに増えているという状況です。で、MBA に関してはですね、特にその今アメリカだけではなくて、ヨーロッパ、アジアとかですね、本当にいろんなところに行かれる人たちが多くて、 で我々がいつも言ってるように、MBA っていうのが、なんか日本の偏差値的にですね、そう捉えるのがとても間違っていて、本当に MBA っていう海外の MBA に行けば皆さん等しくですね、そのグローバルキャリアにリーチできると。で、どこ行くかっていうのは結構皆さんの自分のプレファレンスによるところが結構大きいと思うので、特に今回お越しいただいているそのケンブリッジ、昨日オックスフォードの方来ていただきましたけれども、やはりイギリス欧州っていうのは、非常にですね、そこの地域に行きたいという方とか、ケンブリッジ、オックスフォードに行きたいという人たちが、やはりその非常に強い関心がある人たちが多いんですね。で、それで我々は全然問題ないと思うんですよ。その学校選択肢っていうことに関して言うとですね。で、本当に行きたいところに行けばいいと。そしたら、いわゆる大学に入ったら、もちろんその就職機会が与えられるっていうのと同じぐらいで、その海外の MBA に行くと、それだけのそのキャリアオポチュニティ、さらなるそのグローバルステージにおけるキャリアオポチュニティっていうのが広がってきますので、そういった意味ではどこ行ってもいいし、特にイギリスに行きたい、ヨーロッパに行きたいという人は、やはりその非常に強い思いがあるという人たちが多いのかなというふうに思います。で、ケンブリッジっていうのは、ケンブリッジ、オックスフォードって、オックスブリッジって言いますけれども、本当に我々が言うまでもなくトップオブトップの学校で、その中の MBA っていうところで、なかなかですね、いろいろ皆さんのご相談も聞いていると、イギリスに行きたいし、ケンブリッジ、オックスフォード、その他いろいろあるんだけれども、ケンブリッジとオックスフォードどう違うのかよくわからないとか、そのケンブリッジの MBA の雰囲気がよくわからないとかですね、どういう人が行ってるんですかとかですね、本当に自分がケンブリッジとか入れるんでしょうかとか結構尻込みしちゃって、やっぱ受けるのやめようかなとかですね、いろいろとですね、ケンブリッジっていうそのブランドバリューが強すぎる原因とかっていう要因みたいなのも結構あったり、あんまり実際どういう人たちが集まってきているのかっていうのがイメージが湧かないっていう人たちも多いので、今日は本当我々の方から無理を言ってですね、そのアドミッションの方およびその卒業生の方々にお時間頂戴しているので、ぜひ皆さんも、昨日のオックスフォードもすごい質問がたくさんあって、途中で質問打ち切りぐらいな感じだったんですけれども、早めにどんどんそのご質問、日本語でいいので入れていただければ、いろいろお答えしていただけると思いますし、あとはまだファイナルラウンドが間に合うということらしいので、今から突っ込んでですね、今年の9月からケンブリッジの MBA、夢のケンブリッジの MBA に行くということも十分可能ですので、今日の動画最後まで見ていただいてですね、ぜひ今年9月もしくは来年9月の出願のラウンドでですね、ケンブリッジ MBA をアルファで紹介するとですね、かなりそのアプリカントが急増するということが起きているので、間違いなく3倍ぐらいにはなるかなと思うんですが、ぜひ興味のある人はケンブリッジ MBA に出願していただければと思います。では今日はですね、本当に素晴らしい方々に貴重なお時間いただいてますので、いろいろケンブリッジの説明、それから学校の説明等々ですね、ご経験をシェアしていただければと思います。はい、ではエミさんお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。So, okay, let's get started. So, Emily-san, could you start your presentation?
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. And a massive thank you to Alpha Advisors for hosting me today. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. So my name is Emily Briley, and I'm the head of MBA Admissions and Recruitment at Cambridge Judge Business School. So I'll be providing more information about the Cambridge MBA. And I'm also delighted to be joined by some of our alumni who have very kindly given up their time and will be talking more about their own Cambridge MBA experiences after the presentation. So as you're joining us today, I imagine one of the first questions you must be thinking is, what will the Cambridge MBA deliver in terms of the academic experience, the personal development, networks, and of course, the career impact? So our one-year program, it's rigorous and intensive, and we fit a lot in. And we'll start to work with you before you've even arrived, so to prepare you for a return to study, and in particular, to get you started with your career development work. The focus at Cambridge is very practical. So you're going to be learning by doing and using real life scenarios to apply this learning. So of course, there are lectures and theory, but the main emphasis is on applying your classroom learning in team projects, simulations, and study group assignments. And these will often involve practitioners and real clients. There are 4 distinct phases to our program, taking you from a micro to a macro pathway, with a learning milestone or a project at the end of each term. So the Cambridge MBA is one of the most experiential MBA programs, and the 4 projects that you'll explore, the 4 projects that you'll undertake will explore and solidify what you've learned in each term. So you'll do 3 team projects throughout the year, 2 of which are working for real companies or non-profits. And then in the summer, you'll have your individual project, and you can opt to do a work placement. So this is very similar to an internship, an individual project, or a research paper. The Cambridge Venture Project is your first group project in the first term, and you'll be working with a local startup or SME. And this really complements your learnings in the first term from management praxis, which is a core course which focuses on team dynamics and team buildings. The projects and companies are really varied. So just to give you a few examples, in the past, we've had one group developing a charitable infrastructure to support families affected by a group of rare inherited neurotransmitter diseases. And another group were looking at spatial AI as a product. So profiling and interacting with the industrial drones and robotics market to identify product market fit. So there's some incredibly interesting projects for you to get involved with in the first term and really kind of kickstart your MBA off with. In the second term, you'll do the Global Consulting Project, excuse me. And this is really the highlight of the program for a lot of our students. So you'll be working on a real live project for a company, and you'll work as a group to deliver for the client. And this is usually for about a month at the end of the second term. And we've had students work with global companies such as Lego and Patagonia, and NGOs such as the WHO and the UN. The projects team does source a portfolio of projects that you can choose from, or you can choose to source your own. And students are encouraged to do this, as it's a great way to introduce yourself to a company that you might want to work with post-MBA. Finally, in the third term, you'll do your final group project. And this is the board impact project and ties in with your concentration choice in the third term. And this is where you'll present your project to a simulated executive board. The projects are a fantastic opportunity to build and gain experience in a new area, which is particularly important if you're looking to make a career transition, as it will provide you with real-world examples that you can later draw on in interviews. So one of the things I hear time and time again from our current students and alumni is that one of the reasons they chose Cambridge was the size of the cohort. So we have around 200 students each year, and we think that this is the optimum class size to build meaningful relationships, really get to know your classmates, and develop a strong international network. CJBS has an incredibly strong community, and collaboration is paramount. You'll be doing a lot of work in groups on the MBA program. So we are looking for people who are team players and will bring energy to collaborative learning. Diversity is vital for us, and we build a class with varied backgrounds. So there are 45 nationalities represented in the current cohort, and the average number of years work experience is 6. The average age is 30, and the average GMAT is 690. But please bear in mind that we have, higher and lower of each of these. In the current class, we have 19 Japanese candidates, making up about 9% of the cohort. And each year, our Japanese students host Q&A sessions for Japanese candidates that are invited to interview in each round. So this is a really fantastic opportunity to learn more about the student experience and ask any questions you might have about the interviews, which are conducted by faculty. So something that makes the Cambridge MBA quite unique is its location within Silicon Fen. So for those of you who may not be aware, Silicon Fen is Europe's version of Silicon Valley, sometimes referred to as the Cambridge phenomenon or the Cambridge cluster. And CJBS is at the heart of this vibrant business community. So it's really a key draw for students interested in tech or transitioning into tech or aspiring entrepreneurs. There are more than 1,500 companies with a combined revenue of £12 billion that thrive in Cambridge, and around 900 high-tech firms within 50 miles of the town centre. VC funding invested in Cambridge University spin-offs is higher than any other European university. And you'll get the opportunity to work with some of these companies through your Cambridge Venture project in the first term. So this is a really great introduction to Silicon Fen, and many students keep in contact with their clients throughout the year. So what about the career outcomes for alumni? What will the Cambridge MBA deliver for your career, and how will it make your goals for switching or advancement happen? So we survey each class 3 months after completing the program about their jobs, and our latest employment report gives the following data. So 96% switched at least country, location, or function, and 30% switched all 3. So you can see our program really delivers career change for those who want it. On top of that, 89% were employed 3 months out, and we had 18 students who were successfully working for themselves in their own companies straight out of the MBA. So lots of companies recruit from the Cambridge MBA. Our top recruiters from last year are Amazon, McKinsey, and BCG, but just bear in mind that this does vary each year. But we had over 80 organizations recruit from the 2019 class. The class is diverse, and so are post-MBA roles, locations, industries, and sectors. So what support will you get in your career journey during the program? So there is a full careers provision here for you during your MBA, and this is really a core part of the experience. The careers team's purpose is to provide a program of professional development, sector and functional insights, career management skills, and recruitment opportunities to support you in achieving your career ambitions. We work with a range of expert consultants from the different sectors to work with students individually. And the team continually talk to recruiters to understand their requirements and to deliver over 1,000 workshops, advisory sessions, and recruitment events each year. This bespoke and personalized career service is one of our key differentiators. So our class size allows close interaction between careers and individual students, giving students the extra support they want to really make a career impact. So I definitely can't talk about the Cambridge MBA without talking about the university and the colleges. And this will be an integral part of your experience. So as well as being a member of the university, you're also a member of a college. So some of you may be familiar with the collegiate system, but for those of you that aren't, there are 31 colleges. And as well as studying at a department of the university, so for MBAs, that is Cambridge Judge Business School, all students who study here are also a member of one of these colleges. And the great thing about the colleges is they're not organized by subject, they're multidisciplinary. So this is a really great way to broaden your network and meet students studying a range of different subjects. Colleges will be where you can join any extracurricular activities, so clubs and societies, such as sports. So rowing is very popular in Cambridge, or debating. You'll also attend events, so formal dinners and balls, and they all have study spaces, libraries, and accommodation. And many of our students live within the college accommodation. So the college experience is really just a massive plus to your MBA. So with the MBA program, you have the rigorous study, the networking, and the industry events as part of the career development program. Your college is where you live, it's where you eat, it's where you network and socialize outside of the MBA. And hopefully we'll get to hear more from our alumni after the presentation about their own college experience at Cambridge. So after all the information I've provided you so far, I hope you're thinking, what are the entry requirements and how do I apply? So you can find the full list of our admissions requirements on our website, but just kind of to briefly summarize for you, applicants must have a minimum of 2 years professional work experience. And we would expect to see career progression throughout your career to date. So typically our candidates have between 2 and 12 years of experience. Applicants must have a bachelor's degree equivalent to a UK 2-1. So for Japanese candidates, this is mostly A's on your transcripts. However, please be aware that this is not a hard requirement. So if you don't quite meet the requirement or you're unsure that you do, you're welcome to get in contact, and the admissions team would be happy to advise you. For those candidates that don't meet the requirement, then we would just recommend working towards a high GMAT or GRE score to offset this. A GMAT or a GRE is a requirement when applying. We don't have a preference, we accept both, and we don't request a specific score. But the typical range in each cohort is about 630 to 730. You can apply without an IELTS or a TOEFL at the application stage. However, please note that if you're required to provide one as part of our language policy, then you would need to provide one if you're made an offer after interview. So we recommend candidates do their research and find out if they'd be required to provide an English proficiency test later on in the enrollment stage. And then finally, you'll need one professional reference as part of your application. So ideally, this should be your current or previous supervisor. Applications are made online through our website. We have 5 application rounds each year, and you can find details of these on the website. But for those of you that are perhaps thinking of applying for the 2022 cohort that starts in September, then our next deadline is round 5, which is on Monday, the 25th of April. So this is the final application deadline to join the 2022 cohort. The application portal will reopen in July for the 2023 cohort, and the new application dates will be posted on our website in the summer. But just to let you know that round 1 deadline is usually September every year. Wonderful. So that's the end of the formal presentation from me. If you do have any questions after the event, then you are welcome to contact the admissions team. I can share the email address with you. I'd also recommend attending some of our virtual open days where you'll be able to attend a sample lecture with a faculty member at Cambridge Judge Business School. You can register for those events on our website. And I'm now delighted to welcome our alumni to the event. If I could ask you both to briefly introduce yourselves. Risa, would you like to go first?
Yes. Thank you, Emily-san. So allow me to speak in Japanese for a moment. And yes, okay. So では皆さんこんにちは。私、2019年クラスの水島と申します。よろしくお願いいたします。私はですね、MBA に行く前はですね、NTT 東日本という会社で6年半ほど経験を積みまして、その後1年間ケンブリッジに留学をいたしまして、今は日本マイクロソフトで、Teams の製品マーケターをやっております。そうですね、詳しくは後ほど質問のご回答でお話しできればと思います。本日ありがとうございます。よろしくお願いいたします。
Lovely, thank you. And Aki?
OK。皆さん、こんばんは。矢沢亜希と申します。私は水島さんの1年前ですね、2018年、19年のコースで MBA 留学をしました。で、私はもともとパナソニックに勤めておりまして、エンジニアとして7年、それから新規事業マーケターとして4年間、日本とそれからシリコンバレーにもいました。で、MBA 留学した後ですね、パナソニックの方に戻りまして、今は国内でアカウント営業を担当しているんですけれども、あとMBA も活かしながら、ちょっと将来の海外赴任を今目指しているところです。本日よろしくお願いいたします。
Wonderful, thank you very much. And please tell me if you've already answered the questions I'm going to be asking. Okay, excellent. But maybe you'd want to tell us a bit, about your background and your motivations for wanting to do an MBA, and what was it about Cambridge that appealed to you?
Thank you, Emily-san. So I'll answer first. そうですね、バックグラウンドといたしましては、ちょっと先ほどお話ししたように、もう少しちょっとお話しします。NTT 東日本ではですね、3年間営業を、公共のお客様向けにしました後、 システム開発系の部署でですね、2年間財政コントロール、予算コントロールというところのロールを経験しまして、最後の1年間は経営企画部で関係会社ですとか、子会社の財政施策のファシリテーションというところを担当しておりました。で、なぜそのタイミングで MBA かというところで、一つ目はですね、キャリアを抜本的に変えたいというような気持ちが出てきたというところですね。NTT 東日本に入社した当時、すごくインフラに対してパッションがあったんですけれども、だんだん自分の興味がアプリ寄りのビジネスに変わってきたというところですとか、あとはそうですね、日本の企業をもう少しテックの力で応援したいですとか、当時は5G への強い興味もございまして、その 5G をどのようにしたら、先進国から途上国の方に普及をさせていけるかですとか、そのビジネス自体への興味というところがどんどん膨らんできて、自分のケーパビリティも少しちょっと足りないなと、日々の業務で思うことも多く、MBA がチャンスではないかというふうに思って、私費で思い切って留学をしたというような経緯でございます。で、そうですね、なぜケンブリッジかというところで申し上げますと、先ほどエミリーさんからも、すごく説明がありましたように、ケンブリッジはやはりテクノロジーがすごく、強い学校だというふうに思っております。シリコンフェンもあって、ケンブリッジの、MBA だけではなくて、学部卒の皆さんが作っているそのケンブリッジのエコシステムみたいなものがですね、やはり、ケンブリッジで学ぶ意義だったかなというふうに思っておりまして、そこので学んだことがちょっと今、マイクロソフトで、プロダクトマーケティングマネージャーとして、少しちょっと活躍するためにベースになったなというふうに感じる部分もありますので、そこが第一の理由だったかなというふうに思っております。で、そうですね、入学してから他にもケンブリッジの魅力というのはどんどん見つけていったっていうような形で、やはりコラボレーションを大事にする文化ですとか、あとはそのケンブリッジ大学の歴史ですね。先ほどちょっとカレッジっていう話もありましたけども、私はちょっと入学前はフォーマルディナーとかそういう文化についてはちょっとあまり調べずに行ったんですけれども、昔から面々と受け継がれているカレッジ制度のその文化ですとか、キリスト教との結びつきだとか、そういったところを勉強するのもすごく面白かったです。はい。すみません、長く話しちゃいました。矢沢さんにパスしたいと思います。はい。
So, please let me answer in English because actually I practiced last night answering in English. My background is, as I mentioned, I was working as an engineer for 7 years and as a new business development marketer for 4 years in both Japan and the US Silicon Valley. But I sometimes face difficulty making effective decisions, especially in new business development. And I thought that was because of my lack of knowledge or experience in business practices or management. So I wanted to learn overall business theoretically once. So I decided to do my MBA. And I selected Cambridge because actually I had studied abroad in Cambridge for 3 months when I was doing a master's degree as a scientist. And I really liked the culture of diversity in Cambridge where everyone respects each other's culture or background. So, and also I loved the beautiful scenery in Cambridge, like beautiful institutions or gardens or animals. So I really wanted to go back to Cambridge again. And another motivation was I was also interested in Cambridge startup ecosystem Silicon Pen. And I wanted to learn how those ecosystem is working differently from Silicon Valley, where I also worked in. So yeah, that was another motivation to apply for Cambridge. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you both very much. Yes, we are very spoilt in Cambridge with all the beautiful buildings and the green spaces. Yes. And Aki, when she said the animals, she's referring to these cows that just graze on green spaces in the middle of the city.
Yes.
And
ducks.
And the ducks, yeah. So you've kind of mentioned it briefly, but would you like to maybe talk a bit more about what it was, actually like to move and spend a year in Cambridge, and maybe what surprised you the most about your year here or the program itself?
Okay. じゃあ今度私から言っていいですか？
はい、どうぞ。
Okay. So yeah, it was really special and eye-opening experience for me, getting out of the small world which I have known. And I think especially Cambridge is the best place to learn about diversity because people are really diverse in terms of the industry, countries, or gender, and so on. And I had a lot of opportunity to learn about diversity both inside and outside the class. For instance, we were in every 3-month term, we were divided into 5 to 6 members group, and we had to work on every project in the same group members with the same group members. And at first, it was really difficult for us to work on even a small thing because there was a tension, and at first everyone wanted to show their abilities or intelligence, which often happens in new organization, but we try to overcome those difficulties, understanding each other. And we also had a class called Management Practices, where we can learn about diversity or team building or management theoretically. And those theory also helped us to work practically. And I also learned not only the different culture, but also I recognized the Japanese companies or Japanese people's strengths or weakness. And one strength that I recognized was a collaboration or a team building skill. So I'm sure Japanese candidates can contribute to MBA class in terms of the collaboration. Yes. And actually, can I introduce something? Actually, I brought origami, Japanese origami to the group meeting, and this really helped to release the tension between the members. So I recommend you to bring these stuffs for the communication.
Wonderful. Thank you, Aki. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
What about you, Risa? How was your experience in Cambridge, and what was it like for you moving to the UK? Was it your first time in the UK when you came to Cambridge?
I had Cambridge experience back then when I was 16 years old. I have stayed in Cambridge for 1 month for the homestay and also the language school. So that was still one of the reasons I wanted to come to Cambridge, and I had some of the attachment. And well, yes, that is one of the reasons. And well, about the previous question about the surprise of the Cambridge experience, I think I have two. Well, the first is the college experience. I didn't expect that I can have the interaction with the college friends, but indeed I had, like, for example, I have attended the pre-sessional English program before joining to MBA because I didn't have much confidence in my English language abilities. And I thought it might be better to have 1 month program before MBA. So I went Cambridge earlier than everyone else and learned English during that program. And back then I had many good events with my other colleges friends and other departments friends. Everyone came from all over the world. And for example, I had very enjoyed the debate session, which we had held. And I think I have participated in 2 sessions of the debate. And I could win the speech contest. And lastly, for the prize, we were allowed to go to the King's College's rooftop and climbed over there. And very limited people is allowed to go there. And we have had a very nice photo taking spot. And that was a very valuable experience for me. And I could bond with the other departments people there. And also, as Emily has referred earlier, we are going to have the dormitories in the colleges. So I had 7 friends who were living in my same floor, and they were from the other countries and the other departments. So we had a very good discussion when we kind of shared the time. So that was a very good experience as well. And I couldn't attend much events, but the college itself is holding many events, which is regarding to their interests. And my MBA friends were actively going to that event. So that is my recommendation for you guys. And the other surprise would be same as Yazawa Aki-san. The group activities was much challenging than I have expected. Yes, I really loved the group experience, but at the beginning, I had many challenges. We do not know each other that much, and we do not know the preferences of each members. And one of my good friends from consulting companies, he had a very good solution for having a good collaboration. Like, for example, sharing the preferences of how to work before the project starts. And we kind of discussed what kind of cadence do we like for the meetings, or what is the don'ts and do's for each members, and what is the kind of the work type from the mental test or something like that. But that was the pretty good learnings. I thought I can apply this going forward. So that kind of things happened a lot. And through the Cambridge experience, I really learned a lot. Thanks, Emily.
Thank you, Risa. That's a wonderful example of the collaboration at Cambridge. And I can't believe you got to go on King's College roof. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing, actually. Some of my friends have made it as a Facebook profile.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, what a wonderful, unique experience. So you've started talking about the colleges, which I was going to ask about next. But which college were you at?
Okay, I'll answer first for this. I was in Lucy Cavendish College, which is now not the girls only college. Back then, in my period, it was girls only. So it was a little bit unique about that. But the reason why I chose Lucy Cavendish is that, I thought I like the history, how Lucy Cavendish has supported the female success. And also I thought that it might be good to know the Cambridge's history about the female support. So that's the first reason I had.
Lovely, thank you very much. And Aki, what college were you at? And do you want to maybe talk more about your own college experience?
Yes, I was in Homerton College. And Emily, you supported me to be accommodated in that college. And I selected Homerton because I wanted to more friends outside the MBA in college. And in Homerton, most of students were from education or science background rather than the MBA. So yeah, it was good for me to switch my mind once going back to the college. And I also wanted to enjoy both historical atmosphere and also the modern accommodation. And in that time, Homerton was the best place for me. And actually, after I entered the Homerton, I found that there is a brand new dance studio, which was really good for me because actually my hobby is dancing, and I joined the dance competition between all the European MBA universities, and that was really a great place to practice dancing with team members. So Homerton was perfect for me.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you say the MBA competition, do you mean the MBAT?
Yes,
Aki.
MBAT.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize you'd dance there. That's great.
Yeah, I joined it as a hip hop choreographer. And yeah, it was another challenging of the kind of building teamwork or something like that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, so just for the audience, the MBAT, basically every May, the European MBA schools, business schools, will meet together at HEC in Paris and dance with each other in the case of Aki, and perform sports against each other. And it's just a really great, it's a social event. You get to meet MBAs at the other European business school programs and network and have a party, I think, by the sounds of it as well. So that's a really great event to attend. Wonderful. One thing I will just say about the colleges. You know, students always ask me, when should I apply for my MBA? You can apply in all 5 rounds. We don't have quotas in each round. But one thing I will say is for Cambridge, colleges have quotas for MBAs that they will take. So if there are specific colleges you want to apply to, then we do recommend applying early. By the time you get to like rounds 4 and round 5, there's still colleges open, but you're not going to have as wide a choice as perhaps you would in the earlier rounds. So that's just something to take into consideration. Thank you both. So I just wanted to talk briefly about the project. So this is obviously a key part of the Cambridge MBA. So if you maybe would like to share your own experiences, either on the CVP or the GCP, whichever you think you'd like to talk about, and kind of your learnings taken from that, and have you used anything from those projects going forward in your career?
Okay. Let me go first. Thanks. So for CBP, I have done the project for the biochemical neuroscience company, which was very new. Like it was the company who were challenging to connect the neuro and the machinery arms or legs together, and help the people who are disabled or otherwise substitute the medicine with those kind of solutions. That was pretty cool technology, and I was very excited. And I was blessed with the members which were from Canada and Austria and India and South Africa. I really love the members. And first, I had challenges for the English languages and other cultural differences, but I really enjoyed that. And for the GCP, this one I want to highlight. So one of the good points of the GCP program is that we can choose the companies with which companies you want to do the project, or you can also just pick the companies which Cambridge Judge Business School is going to pick. And so for this, I have picked to source by myself. Because I was very interested in the gaming industries, and also I wanted to strengthen the leadership through this program. And by sourcing the project, I thought I could position to the leader position and help everyone drive the project. So I have negotiated with several tech companies such as Microsoft and Google and Sony, and also the last one, Sega. And I have successfully sourced from Sega Games affiliates, which is called Krusty Digital, and now the name is Sega Krusty. So this one I have done the project of how to expand the gamification business in Europe from Sega. And that was a very exciting topic for us. And I have picked the members from the MBA. I have recruited the members who are interested in gaming industries and driven the project. And so the project was driven in Japanese languages. So that was one of the hurdle we had. Two of the members were Japanese, but the other was from Canada and Singapore and Iceland. So they don't understand Japanese. So 2 of the members had to deliver the customers' requirements very exactly. And we had to have the discussion with the huge barriers we had. But we kind of did many measures and well overcome it. And that was a very good experience. And also one of the members has successfully went to the gaming industries after then. And it was very pleasure for me that he has thanked me that, well, because of this project, he could go into the very awesome company. So that was my, best highlight for this GCP project.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Risa. Yeah, no, that's great. I think that's a really great example of, like I said before, the collaboration, but, kind of drawing on your experiences during the program for your longer post-MBA career goals. That's great. Thank you. Aki, what about your projects? Who were you with for the GCP or the CVP or both? Maybe you'd like to share a bit more about your own experiences.
Okay, so in the CVP, we worked with Cambridge startup companies of the battery, storage battery company, and the CEO was from University of Cambridge. And yeah, we did the marketing about we made a marketing strategy for the storage battery, how to penetrate in the market, especially in London. And yeah, as I mentioned, it was the first project, first big project. So it was really challenging as working as a team. But yeah, we really overcame those difficulties, understanding each other or learning theoretically about the team building. And yeah, it was really a great opportunity also for me to learn about the energy sector, because actually Panasonic has a core product of the battery, and I had a little bit knowledge about the battery. So I was able to show the leadership in terms of the technical knowledge. So I think you all can find some part where you can show your leadership, even if you are not the leader of the project. And also in the GCP, I also selected the energy sector. I worked with Shell, the big energy company, and they wanted to start the EV charger marketing, because the oil or gas car was getting down, and EV was growing at that time. And I wanted to learn more about how the energy trend is going in Europe, because that was directly related to the Panasonic's business. And in that project, all of the members had the background of the energy, and we already learned about the team building in the CVP, and the project went really smoothly, and we were able to focus on much more about learning about the market itself, or how to make the strategy for that. And actually at that time, Shell had only 7 or 10 EV charger in London, but now they are trying to expand it about to 10,000 EV charger in the UK, all over the UK. And recently they announced the EV charger hub station in London, which is really exciting for me, because I knew that, the project just started. And yeah, it is really exciting experience to know how the real business is going in Europe or other countries.
Thank you, Aki. Yeah, and that's a really good point. Like we say, the projects are real projects for real companies. So it must have been wonderful to kind of see that it had been taken forward in London. That's great.
Yes.
So was probably a while ago for you both. If you can cast your minds back, I wondered if you had any tips or advice for students that are thinking about applying, to the Cambridge MBA now. Anything you would, advise them to think about? Any tips, Risa?
Tips? Yes, it's been a long time ago. So.
Just trying to think back about what it was like.
Thank you. But well, yeah. So for the Cambridge application, like we not only that we submit the application, we kind of like usually go to the on the spot and have some interviews with your well interest well professors who are well doing the research in your interest, and that was the very interesting experiences for me. So I think well you should prepare a very deep dive in your interest and well prepare why you want to go to Cambridge and what you want to do after MBA, that kind of things. Well, the professors will kind of like will deeply dig into your interest. So that part was, I think it was very crucial. And well, on top of that, well, the collaboration is very crucial for the Cambridge experiences, as we have discussed in this session. So the collaboration part, well, maybe it would be better to well reflect on your experiences, which part was collaborative moment for yourself, and what kind of leadership you could show in your collaborative experiences back in your jobs or any private moments, or the in your schools, or well the more the episodes you have, that will be a very strong weapon for you. So I think that would be great preps. Yep. Sorry, I think I have lost most of the memories like, about the application.
No, that's all great advice. Absolutely. Aki, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, the same as Lisa. I think the most important thing is to take enough time to prepare for why you want to go to MBA and why you select that university, because each university has really different colors, and I think the best university is different from for each others. So yeah, why MBA, why Cambridge is really important factor, I think. And actually, I had really low GMAT score, so I think I was able to be accepted by Cambridge for taking that time.
Yeah,
clarify
absolutely.
Why MBA and why Cambridge.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much a holistic process, and yeah, exploring your own motivations, you know, both in the application and also when you're preparing for interviews is really, really key.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both. I believe we might have reached the end of the panelist session. Is that correct, Emmy?
Yeah, thank you for a great session. So now we have many questions from audience. So let's move on to the Q&A session with audience. Yeah. はい、ということで、じゃあ、結構ご質問いただいているので、こちらに行きましょう。はい。もしなんか皆さん追加であれば入れていただければと思います。貴重なお話ありがとうございます。卒業後に日本人など外国人がイギリスに就職されるためのサポートは具体的にどのようなものがありますでしょうかという、ちょっと質問に応じてアドミッションの方とか、卒業生の方、それぞれに伺っていこうかなと思います。多分これはアドミッションの方のがまずはいいかなと思うんですけど、So, Emily san, there is a first question about career support. So could you let us know more about career support, especially for an international student to get job at UK? If there are any special references or networking event or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have a full career development program as part of the Cambridge MBA. So I think as I highlighted in the presentation, you know, this begins from even before you start before you arrive in Cambridge. So around April time. So actually our new students will shortly be receiving information on the careers aspect. You'll start having different tasks to complete in terms of, you know, preparing your CV, thinking about, you know, the companies you might want to work for post MBA, you know, and thinking about your own motivations. And that really ramps up until you arrive in September. And then throughout the year, there are on-campus recruiter events, or a lot of these are virtual at the moment, obviously given the pandemic, with companies, global companies, local startups. There's lunches with local tech companies. And that's an opportunity to learn more about individual companies and to network. On top of that, you'll have the opportunity to set up one-to-ones with careers consultants in different industries, so finance, tech, consulting, and you'll have access to an MBA job board as well, with jobs specifically for MBA students. One thing I will say in terms of overseas students, the UK has reintroduced the 2-year post-study work visa. So if you are interested in staying in the UK after your MBA program, then you can get a post-study work visa for up to 2 years. And so, you wouldn't need to be sponsored by a company to work. You could just work on that visa. So that's really, really fantastic for international students that, you have the opportunity to stay here and work afterwards.
Thank you. なので、もちろん CV を書いたりだとか、あとはそもそもどういう業界にポスト MBA で行きたいのかっていう自己分析的なキャリアのサポートもあれば、あとはネットワーキングとかのイベントも1年を通して結構あるっていうことですかね。それから各業界、ファイナンスとかテックとかコンサルティングとかっていう各業界に特化したキャリアコンサルタントの方がいるとか、あとはそれこそイギリスのその2年間のポストスタディワークビザっていうのができたので、それに向けて現地就職サポートするのも結構体制としてできてきてるよってことですね。結構ね、イギリスでそのまま就職したいという方もいるので、アメリカはだいぶ、アルファではかなりメジャーになってきて、そのままガーファに入ったりとか、ベンチャーキャピタル入ったりっていう方がいるんですけどね、イギリスは結構ビザができたばっかりなので、皆さん気になってると思うんですけど、かなりお話を聞いていると、キャリアも手厚くサポートしてくれますかね。もしなんか卒業生の方で、キャリアサポートなんかこういうのがあったよっていうの、補足があれば。
はい。じゃあ日本語ですいません。そうですね。私はちょっと日本で就職を考えていたので、イギリス現地でっていうところはちょっとほとんど活動していないんですけれども、ただですね、日本の就職にも役立つような、先ほどエミリーさんがおっしゃったような、キャリアセッションだとか、あと、そうですね、各会社、企業の方々がもうケンブリッジに来てくれて、セッションをやってくれて、カジュアルドリンキングセッションみたいなものもあったりしたので、それが本当に毎週、週2、3回、私はちょっと参加をしてですね、情報収集をしたりだとか、あとはそうですね、ケースレッスンというんですかね、コンサル志望の方向けには、ケースの練習を実際のコンサルタントが来てですね、やってくれるっていうのも毎週毎週開催されていました。というところで、それは全部受けてましたし、ワンオンワンのキャリアセッションも3、4回ですかね、活用させてもらって、CV もちょっと直したりっていうところも、すごい手厚かったです。はい。
確かにキャリアチェンジのところのスライドがありましたけど、So, Emilyさん, could you go back to the slide to the page on which the career report? これですかね。これかな。なんか 96% の方がスイッチしてるっていうので、このカントリーとファンクションとインダストリーと全部スイッチしてるの、これもちろん全体のゼータだと思いますけども、30%、だから3人に1人の方が全部変えてるっていう、結構、入住さんすごいですよね。なんか、全部変えるってなかなか難しい気がしますけど。
普通はなんかね、なかなか前職のものから変えられないみたいなことを言う、学校とか地域もあったりするんですけれども、非常にそこで MBA 留学中に得た知見とか発見とかいろんなネットワークで自分の今後のキャリアをフレキシブルに変えられるっていうのはすごいですよね。
そうですね。しかも年齢もさっき出て、大体アベレージが30歳って書いてあったので、結構、ミッドキャリアとかその手前の方ぐらい、もう結構キャリアチェンジされてるってことですよね。
これは相当、なんか我々の、なんかすごいポジティブサプライズですね。
そうですね。すごいかなと思いました。はい、ありがとうございます。ちょっと次ですね。ケンブリッジエコシステムについて詳しくお聞かせいただけますでしょうかということで、これは ちょっとアドミッションの方にも最初伺おうかなと思いますね。So, Emily-san, next question is about the Cambridge ecosystem. So could you let us know more about the Cambridge ecosystem, technology or Silicon Valley or something?
Yeah, sure. So like I've kind of briefly already mentioned that we are located within Silicon Valley. So a big draw for a lot of students that end up choosing us is those students who want to kind of transition into tech, or aspiring entrepreneurs, or current entrepreneurs that perhaps want to grow and develop their venture. So, CJBS is at the heart of this. We have numerous research centers which are linked to, companies throughout the city. And we also have the Entrepreneurship Center at CJBS, where you can get involved in different events. So they run a series of events called Enterprise Tuesdays throughout term time. And it's open not only to current students and staff, but it's also the local business community. So they're really great opportunities to network with the local community. Your first introduction to this, to the Silicon Valley will be with your Cambridge Venture project in the first term, and you'll work with one of the local startups or SMEs. Just where we are based, the University of Cambridge. So there's a lot of university spin-offs coming from different departments, and within your college you're going to get to meet students studying different subjects, which will really broaden your experience, and you never know what doors it's going to open. So we've actually had MBAs go on to start businesses and come with students they meet in their college. So there's lots of opportunities there.
Thank you. なので結構ケンブリッジのさっきパネリストの方からもお話があったと思うんですけども、もし何か補足とかありますでしょうか。
はい。そうしましたら、私もすごくシリコンフェンに興味があって、実は夏のプロジェクトでリサーチペーパーを私選んだんですけども、そこで自由にいろんなテーマ決めてやっていいんですけれども、私そのシリコンフェンのエコシステムがどういうふうに回っているかっていうのを知りたくて、現地のそのスタートアップのアントレプレナーの方だったりとか、あとはアクセラレーターですねとか、インベスターとか、あとは、大学のプロフェッサーとか、またはコーポレートから来ている、現地に来ている方の話を聞いたんですけれども、そうですね、基本的にその大学の技術がベースになって、スタートアップがたくさん生まれているっていうような構図で、それをそのアクセラレーターとか大学とかがサポートしていくっていうようなすごくファミリー的なエコシステムになってますね。で、そういう中でアームのような大きな会社が生まれたりとかいうふうにしていて、なのでサイエンスベースとの企業がすごく多いですね。で、私もものすごく有名なインベスターの方とかちょっとメールをホームページに書いてあるので出してみると、結構簡単にそのケンブリッジの学生だというだけで簡単に話をしてくれるようなそういう文化があって、多分それってそのケンブリッジのその大学ベースのそういうエコシステムがあるから、そのファミリーのような形でみんな絆があるような感じなんですね。で、それはそのシリコンバレー、私も昔働いてたんですけれども、すごくコンペティティブななんでしょう、みんな気持ちを持っているのとは全く真逆のエコシステムだなっていうふうに思いました。はい。
ありがとうございます。確かにそのケンブリッジのバリューっていうか、それはすごいありそうですよね。
そうですね。はい。そう思いました。
ありがとうございます。次ですね。期間が1年間ですが、夏季インターンへの参加、コンサルなどは可能でしょうかっていうことで、これ多分その日本のコンサルのサマーインターンとかのことを言ってる気がするんですけど、
通常ですとあれですよね。エミさん。
はいはい。
通常だと夏にインターンをやるから、
そうですね。
そのインターンができないんじゃないかっていう1年だと。
そうですね。そ
こは皆さん、私費の人もね、いらっしゃると思うので、皆さんどうそこら辺は解決しているのかっていうご質問だと思うんですけど。
そうですね。日本ってことですかね。じゃあちょっと日本の
はい。
あれだと思うので。
そうですね、1年生ですと、コンサルで言うとですね、ちょっとインターンシップというよりは、正社員採用に向けた面接を受けていくことが多いといいますか、インターンなしに正社員の面接を受けるっていうところが多いですね。で、コンサル面接、2回、2回じゃないの、失礼しました。正式な採用、MBA 採用というのはだいたい9月か10月ぐらいからスタートして、年越して1月2月ぐらいに内定みたいなスケジュールが正式なものになるんですけども、1年生の場合少しちょっとそこのスケジュールと合わないというところもあるので、人によっては中途採用枠で、MBA ですっていうふうにちょっと言って受けるっていう方もいらっしゃるという形ですね。で、会社によっては確か5月くらいに募集をかける1年生向けに5月、6月にかけるっていうところもあったりするんですけども、ちょっとそこは個別の会社によって全然変わってくるので、聞いていただくというのが良いかなと思います。で、コンサルのインターンとは別に、そのジェネラルにインターンできるのっていうところについては、できますと、先ほどエミリーさんから説明があった、そのサマープロジェクトというところで、インターンシップか、リサーチペーパーか、もしくは、インディビジュアルプロジェクトといって、もう一回プロジェクトをやるっていう3つの選択肢があるんですけども、そのインターンを選んで、で、学校側からもそのインターンの、ジョブディスクリプションみたいなものがたくさん出てくるので、そのイギリス現地で気になったスタートアップにインターンしに行くだとか、自分でソーシングしてインターンこぎつけるだとか、結構選択肢は幅広いという形ですね。はい。
なるほど。1年ですけど、結構そういう機会は自分で取りに行こうと思えば結構。
そうですね。はい。ちょっと時期としてはサマーしかないっていうところはありますけど、はい。ないことはないという感じですね。はい。
ありがとうございます。では次ですね。ケンブリッジ MBA にしかない特徴、これがアピールポイントだという点があれば詳しく教えてくださいということで、So, Emily-san, the next question. So, could you share with us any special aspects of Cambridge MBA?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, I think Risa and Aki will be the best people to share their experience themselves. But yeah, I think one of the key things is, and both Aki and Risa talked about it a lot, is the collaboration. And I know you hear that word a lot and it's a bit of a buzzword, but actually at Cambridge, it really is just kind of at the heart of the community and the culture. The building itself was actually built with collaboration in mind. So it has this big common room in the middle. That to get from one side of the building, you have to pass through it. And the idea is you'll run into colleagues and, other students and you'll stop and, you'll share ideas and start collaborating. So I think that's really a key part of it. And just how much you'll then go on to draw on your cohort further down the line. I meet I've been lucky enough to go out and meet alumni all over the world. And the thing I hear time and time again is just the strength of the cohort and how much they still in contact and how much they still utilize it. Even silly things like one person was telling me they had a lawyer on their program. So whenever they need free legal advice, they just contact their friend from the program and ask for that. So I think, yeah, that is a really key thing at Cambridge.
Thank you so much. コラボレーションがすごくキーポイントで、他のプログラムとか他の大学院とかもそうですし、さっきアキさんがおっしゃってたその学校外のところにもすごくリーチしやすいとか、エコシステムが確立されているとか、そういうところもあるってことですかね。はい。なんかもしちょっと結構ご質問があるどちらかさっきアキさんお話しいただいた、さっきリザさんにお話ししたらアキさんもし補足っていうか、こういうところがっていうのはあれば。
もう最大のポイントはやはりコラボレーションだと思います。もう本当になんかそのコラボレーションってこんなに難しいことなのかって思うぐらい、初めは本当に大変なんですね。いろんな国の人が、すごく優秀な人たちでワークしていくっていうことが、すごく難しいんですけれども、それを実践でやりながらもその理論も学べるっていうところがすごく良かったなと思います。あ あと、あえてちょっと一つ違うことを言うと、やはりケンブリッジって800年の歴史を持っているので、なんかすごくその歴史的なビルだったりとか、この雰囲気自体がもう本当に夢のような世界なんですね。そういう世界を味わえるっていうのはやはりケンブリッジならではだなっていうふうに感じます。
はい。ありがとうございます。じゃあですね、ラストラウンドで合格されたとのことですが、準備期間はどのぐらいでしたか、また何か秘訣はありますかっていうことで、どのぐらい準備されたかっていうのはあります？
じゃあ私から、
はい、
そうですね、CMAT と TOEFL のスコアメイキング自体は1年ぐらいかかっているんですけども、実際に MBA 留学に行こうと決めたのは、その最終ラウンドに応募する4ヶ月前ぐらいとかだったので、そのケンブリッジがフィフスラウンドやってるっていうふうに知ったのも、この3月、4月くらいのタイミングだったかなと思っていて、で、さあ応募しようとなって、書類を書き上げて、レターももらって、そうですね、1ヶ月で準備したっていうような流れですね。はい。ちょっとイレギュラーかもしれません。他のスクールは並行して受けていたんですけども、はい。なので私は2校ぐらいしか受けてないです。はい。
ありがとうございます。じゃあちょっと次のご質問に行きましょうかね。お話ありがとうございます。現在もパナソニック勤務されているとのことですが、社費で留学されたのでしょうか。よろしければキャリアチェンジを考えなかったのかなどお聞かせいただけると幸いですという。これちょっと日本語で多分アキさんに
そうですね。
思うので、もしよければ
はい、
お話しいただけると。
はい。私は私費で留学をしました。パナソニックは、当時でも珍しかったんですが、そういったキャリアアップのために会社を休めるという制度が2016年ぐらいからできまして、それをチャンスに休んで留学をしました。でもちろんその留学をしてパナソニック以外のところに転職するっていうことも考えますので、今も正直そういうことを思うときはあるんですけれども、もともと私、その新規事業をパナソニックでやっていて、やっぱりそのパナソニックの、すごくいろんなケイパビリティがあると思っていて、そういう中でどうしたらもっとうまく回っていくんだろうっていうのを考えて、それがきっかけで MBA 留学をして、で、やっぱり外に出てみると、その日本企業の課題もそうなんですけど、それ以上に強みとか、そういうところっていうのをすごく感じることが多かったんですね。で、まだまだ日系企業も頑張れるなっていうことをすごく思いまして、そういう強みを生かして、いかに大企業として大きなことをやっていくかっていうことをちょっとチャレンジしたかったので、パナソニックに戻ることを決めました。
ありがとうございます。自費で行ってね、戻ってやっぱりやられるっていうのは、すごくそこのコミットメントというか、それが素晴らしいですね。
そうですね。はい。
はい。じゃあ次ですね。ちょっと次で最後になりますけれども、マイクロソフトでケンブリッジの知識や経験、ネットワークが生きているところはありますでしょうかっていう、これもリサさんにそのままお答えいただこうかな。
はい。そうですね。先ほど申し上げたように、そのテック企業で活躍するっていうところが少しちょっと自分の不安ポイントではあったんですけれども、ケンブリッジでそのプロジェクトだとかを自分でドライブして、少しちょっと自信がついたなっていうところはあります。で、その他はですね、MBA を通して今生きているものは2つあると思ってまして、1つ目がそのリーダーシップですね。先ほどお話ししたようにコンサルティングプロジェクトで、少し皆さんの適性を見ながらプロジェクトをしっかりうまい方向に持っていくみたいなところでドライブする力ですとか、あとはジャパントレックツアーのリーダーも実はやっていたんですけども、そういったところも含めてちょっと MBA の経験を通じて養えたなっていうところは大きく、すごく貢献してます。で、もう一つは他の方も MBA 出られた方はよく言われるんですけども、やっぱりその MBA で得た知識が直接業務にバシッと役に立つっていうことはちょっと割と稀ではあったりはするんですけど、とはいえですね、やっぱりその MBA で学んだことが少し自分の棚の中に置いてあるイメージになっておりまして、そういえば MBA の時にこういうフレームワーク習ったなですとか、マーケティングのそのやり方だとか、事業計画考えるときとかに、 本当にこのフレームの仕方でいいんだろうかですとか、こういうところに課題ポイントはないかなっていうのが、ちょっとその知識から紐づいてちょっと出てきたりもして、そこから自分でMBA の時に身につけたリサーチの仕方だとか、使って、リサーチしたり、あるいはその MBA の友達に、そのまま聞いちゃうだとか、ケンブリッジは先輩と後輩のつながりも強いので、気軽にちょっとチャットして聞いてみるだとか、そういったことで、どんどん仕事がですね、以前よりも、そこをちょっとレバレッジできるようになったっていうのはすごく大きい財産だなと思ってます。はい。
ありがとうございます。結構ね、皆さん MBA ってどうやって役立つんだろうとか、行った方がいいですかみたいな方もね、いらっしゃるので、すごくね、参考になると思います。
はい。
はい。じゃあちょっとこちらでご質問は以上で、最後に、マーキさん、リサさん、あとアドミッションの方から一言ずつ、これからケンブリッジとかMBA 目指している方にメッセージをいただこうかなと思いますので、よろしくお願いします。じゃあ、アキさんから。
私から、はい。今日はお時間をお付き合いいただいてありがとうございました。本当に MBA、ケンブリッジの場合1年なんですけれども、本当に一生の宝物になるような、本当に貴重な経験ですし、なんでしょう、いわゆるそのファイナンスとかエコノミクスとか、ハードスキルっていうのはどこにいても学べると思うんですけれども、やはりその現地に行って、またはオンラインでも、いろんなメンバーとコミュニケーションをしてじゃないと得られない経験っていうのがあると思いますので、本当に MBA はすごくお勧めします。で、やはり先ほどもちょっとお話ししましたけれども、MBA って大学によってすごくカラーが違うんですね。なので、どの MBA 大学がいいかっていうのは人それぞれ全く違うと思うんですね。なので皆さんどうして MBA に行きたいか、何を得たいかっていうところに照らし合わせながら大学を選ぶとすごくいい MBA 生活になるかなというふうに思います。はい。
ありがとうございます。じゃあ、リサさんもよろしくお願いします。
はい。皆さん今日はお時間ありがとうございます。よくですね、MBA に行った後に、行ってよかったですかっていう質問をいろんな方から受けるんですけども、私は 100% 良かったというふうにいつも答えております。今日お話ししてきたような、仕事に生きてきているですとか、キャリアもですね、ちょっとチェンジして自分の興味関心の近い領域で今、少し仕事ができていると。で、さらに、今、成長できる環境にいるなというふうに入れているなと思っていて、すごくありがたいことなんですけども、今後もちょっとそうですね、やっぱり、MBA に行ったっていう経験を、ちょっと少しプレッシャーとして感じながら、あとはそうですね、MBA 同級生の活躍を横に見ながら、それをベンチマークとして、彼らが頑張ってるんだから私も頑張らなきゃっていう、ちょっとモチベーションにこの先人生していけるなっていうところはすごく大きいと思っております。で、さらにケンブリッジはやっぱり、本当に人が温かいと言いますか、本当にこれ抽象的だなっていつも人から聞くと思うんですけども、先輩後輩のつながりも強かったりだとか、OB、OG 名簿で気軽にチャットしても、別に MBA でなくても全然レスポンスが来たりだとかっていうところは非常に素晴らしいなと思うので、ぜひケンブリッジ検討いただけると、さらに UK の魅力もぜひ皆さんに知ってもらいたいなというふうに思います。はい。今日は本当にありがとうございます。また質問したい場合は、ぜひリンクドインでつながっていただければ、はい、お答えしますので、よろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。じゃあ、ちょっと最後、アドミッションの方からですね。Emery さん、thank you for the great presentation. Could you give us comments?
Comments on what?
At the last comments.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yeah, no. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, just thank you everyone for joining. Yeah, I hope you found it helpful and useful and informative. And a massive thank you to Aki and Risa for joining us. Particularly, I was Aki's candidate manager, so it's a bit of a reunion, and it's lovely to. It's always lovely to see alumni and like what they're doing now and catch up. So it's really wonderful to see that you're both doing really well. And thank you, Alpha Advisors, for hosting us. It's been a really great session. If anyone has any questions afterwards about the program or applying, please get in touch, and the team would be happy to answer your questions. And yeah, hopefully we look forward to meeting you in Cambridge one day.
Thank you. はい。ということで、まだ今年の入学が間に合うということで、4月の25日までですね。アルファでも今準備していらっしゃる方も、もうすでに結構いらっしゃるんですけども、まだ上流があるということで、アドミッションの方からも、ぜひ皆さん入ってくださいっていうね、お話もありましたので、ご興味がある方は、いつでもご相談いただければと思います。かなり、効率よくレジュメとかエッセイ、テストスコアも仕上げて、合格までいけると思いますので、ぜひアルファにもご相談いただければと思います。はい。ということで、今日は素晴らしい、ディスカッション、プレゼンテーションとお時間ありがとうございました。So, Emily-san, so thank you very much for your great presentation and today's session. ということで、引き続きよろしくお願いいたします。では、失礼いたします。
ありがとうございます。